Welcome to Keeping Money Jazzy, where I share budgeting tips, planning, and my debt-free journey. Here in this video today, I will confess my debt to you all. It's a little disappointing and discouraging, but I will get through it. All right, let's get started. Give you some history. So, in my early 20s, I've never really had debt. I only had medical bills and I paid those off. When I turned 27 and I moved out on my own, I got my first credit card, Capital One card, got my first card, and it was exciting and I was happy about it. But on the other side, I was told that credit cards were basically bad and to not have them. I was never really taught how to use them properly. But when I got that credit card, I had a credit limit of $500. And I was excited and happy about that. So I mainly used that back then. That was around 2011. I used it for like groceries and household things that I might have needed at that time. So we're going to fast forward, and in 2011, I also went back to college for my nursing degree. And this time around, I went to a private institution, private college, and I was told that financial aid didn't cover any tuition, on all of my tuition and things like that. So I had to get student loans at that time. Never really told about student loans, didn't really understand or know what student loans really entailed, because I don't know anyone in my family or that I know of that had student loans. So it was new to me and I really didn't understand and really didn't know. But I wanted to go to school to pursue my nursing degree. So I decided to just go ahead and get the loan. And I got the loans and I didn't never follow it, received the refund checks and things like that and used them for basic, living and some savings, and that's it. That's what I did with that money. So in 2013, I chose to not pursue my nursing degree. I just decided that wasn't the career that I wanted. That wasn't a career for me. So I chose to leave college or drop out of college at that time. And I left with student loan debt. Unknowingly to me, I wasn't really sure how much I had until I received a letter months later in 2013 that I owed this money. And it was around 20, I think I had paperwork right here in front of me. So I think my original amount that I owed was $26,500 is what I actually originally borrowed in the beginning from 2011. So I had that debt and it was kind of disheartening and discouraging. And I was trying to figure out, oh my gosh, I owe this money. How am I going to pay for it? I'm on a single income household and I just didn't know what to do. So in 2015, I had my enough is enough moment that comes from Dave Ramsey. I actually started to watch Dave Ramsey in 2015. I was introduced by Dave Ramsey from watching a YouTube channel called KMJs TV, and they were, discussing that they found Dave Ramsey in Financial Peace University, and they were talking about getting out of debt. So I purchased his book, The Total Money Makeover, and I read it, and I was like, this is something I've never thought about. I never thought I would be in debt, for one. Two, I never thought that I would be able to pay this money off quickly. So I started to follow the baby steps, and the baby step number one was to save $1,000. And that took me about maybe a month and a half. So I think I had all the $1,000 in January of 2016. And then from there, I started to tackle debt. So I started out in 2016 with $30,733. That consisted of a medical bill that I was helping my mom with for her surgery. Then I had my medical bills. Then I had a little bit on my credit card, but not really much, maybe $100 or so. But the rest was mainly student loans. So I started that journey back in 2016, and I did okay. I don't have those numbers here in front of me, but I paid off all of the medical debt that I had, and I also paid off the credit card, and I just had student loans. But then a couple years later, I just started to use my credit card more frivolously and developing credit card debt, which I never had up until maybe 2017, really. And I just started accumulating debt and accumulating credit card debt. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was more than I've ever had. But paid off, and then I would rack it back up again. So my student loans were kind of on the back burner. I was just paying like the minimum. I started out with the income-based program back in 2014. I think I would get payments, and just paid $50, and it increased every year based off of my income. Even if my income didn't change, the payment amount would change. So that was then 2020. I made my New Year's resolution goal for this year was to pay off my credit card, and I actually transferred my balance from my Capital One to a new card, which is a Bank of America with a 0% interest for 15 months. Transferred that back in December of 2019. Beginning debt for 2020. For credit card debt, I had $1,338.21. For my student loans, I had a beginning balance of $28,665. And you might say, that is up from the beginning balance back in 2011, which was $26,500, is what I originally took out loans for. But of course, due to interest and things like that, I had a total of $30,003.21 was my beginning debt for this year. My goal was to pay off my credit card and student loan from the beginning of this year. Then of course, the pandemic hit. And when March, the pandemic hit, I was down to $1,119.95 for my credit cards, and I was scared, honestly. Like, I didn't know what my job security was going to be. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I went to basically panic mode. And I told myself, okay, Kelly, this is your goal, so you're going to have to do this before the end of the year, by the end of the year. So what I did was in March, I started making payments to my student loan. Of course, I was making minimum payments on everything, my credit cards and everything. And due to the CARES Act, there were no interest, which was a blessing and a wonderful thing for me. And so I was saying, okay, I'm going to tackle this debt. So what I did was I started making payments in April. Paid off some interest that I had on my smallest ones that I've had in April. And May, I racked up. In March, I actually racked up some more credit card debt. Crazy, but I did. So at the end of April, credit cards, I had $1,901.14. And for my student loans, I had a total of $28,766.76. That is what I started, that is what I started April with. So then I made some more payments, and in May, my phone went out. I had to get a new phone because I work remotely due to the pandemic. So I needed my phone to work. So I had to purchase a new one, and I put that on my credit card. So I added an additional $858 to my credit card back in April. So in May, I had a balance of $1,422.47 in credit card debt. I paid that off in June thanks to the stimulus check, and I got like a 3 paycheck month. I also decided to stop making payments on my debt in June once I paid my credit card off, because I realized I wanted to save more money. $1,000 just was not enough. Back in 2015 when I started budgeting, it was fine because I was renting and I didn't own a home. And I purchased my home 2 years ago, so I decided to save more money up just in case job loss or something. I needed more money to money, so I started to save in June and July. In August, I got back on track with paying off my debt. So in August, I ended with $28,206.50 on my student loans. And to date, as of October, I now only owe $27,600.50. So as you can see, I have no credit card debt. Now I just have my student loans. I am trying to pay off my smallest student loan, which at the beginning of the year started off at $1,794, and now I am down to $674. So I'm going to try to pay that off at the end of the year and also save some money. So throughout these last 5 years, it has been hard, and I've been really hard on myself trying to figure all of this out, and finances and how credit works and getting out of debt, saving money for my future. I've been learning and growing through watching YouTube and having classes. I had joined Beyond the Budget was Frugal Life at one point, and doing her classes and learning things up from her. And I have been I call it a slow study race, and I've been really hard on myself, and I felt like I'm not really making progress. But I have to give myself a pat on the back because I am single. I am paying everything on my own, and it's hard being single and doing everything on my own. But I realize now that I can do this, and it's not going to be easy getting out of debt, because it's so fast and it's really quick to get into debt. But getting out of it, it's a journey, it's a process, and it takes steps. So if you want to watch my slow and steady journey as I get out of $27,000 now worth of student loan debt, please hit that like button and subscribe. And see you guys in the next one. Bye.